Well, hello everybody, and welcome to JDM Television. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. I guess as the recording of this on a Saturday afternoon, my time. But yeah, today I just actually want to do a review of WWE Friday Night SmackDown from last night from Buffalo, New York. Actually, it's kind of weird because I think there was a snowstorm when this event happened, but it's actually pretty impressive to see 8,000 people pack in the KeyBank Center, the home of the Buffalo Sabres. So what I want to do here, I kind of put some bullet points out into the points that I kind of wanted to cover from the actually first 3 hour SmackDown of the new year. And to be honest, this was a great show. Great show, great wrestling, great segments as well. First one I kind of want to talk about was the main event, which is kind of what this event was built around, was the ambulance match between Damian Priest and Aleister Black, a rivalry that's been going on for months and months and months right now. I think this is about a 6 month rivalry that I believe ended last night. But it was kind of weird when I was thinking about how this kind of match started. There was like a couple table spots, one going through the Slim Jim table and another kind of on the outside of the ring. But when the match kind of started, I kind of was just thinking back to me as a kid, thinking about like the ambulance match between Kane and Shane McMahon. I'm like, this is nothing like that, right? I was kind of being pretty negative on it at the beginning, but I mean these two picked up and it became really physical, and obviously I should have seen that coming because these two are pretty great hardcore wrestlers. They use quite a few weapons. They use even the chair to a unique spot. I think it was Aleister Black that was on the gurney, and Damian Priest took Aleister Black's head, lifted it up, and was slamming his head down on the chair, which while he was still on the gurney, I thought that was a pretty unique spot. They even used kind of the backboard in a unique way as well. I believe where Aleister Black kind of threw Damian Priest into the set with his neck exposed to the gurney, so that was a good little spot too. Biggest spot I think was the razor's edge onto the windshield of the ambulance. That looked painful. He sold the shit out of that, which was really good. And the way it ended, Damien throwing him off the top of the ambulance through a bunch of tables there on the floor. It's kind of funny when that happened. I was like, are they gonna move the kind of the cloth away to get a Slim Jim ad in? Because you could just barely see the Slim Jim ad. I thought either Aleister would have kicked his foot there or did something else to kind of show the ad, because I know how big they are on ads these days. But honestly, great match, very physical. Damian Priest was able to pick off the win on that one. So I think it's kind of where we're at. Where did these two go post this? I can actually see Damian Priest maybe going back to Raw at the end of this. Damian Priest definitely has to go and get a singles title. Aleister Black rather has to go and get a singles title. I don't know if he's going to feud for the U.S. title at this point, but definitely needs something for Aleister Black to really kind of solidify his spot on the roster, because he's a phenomenal talent. I've always liked him ever since he was in NXT UK a number of years ago now. But I think Damian Priest may benefit from another brand switch. Ever since he kind of lost that world title, he's kind of been in a little bit of limbo, but fans obviously still seem to like him. So another great match there once again between two really good talents. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see kind of where they go from here. Obviously, I think both of them are going to be in the Royal Rumble coming up at the end of the month, but just kind of have to see what happens going forward. But again, really good, strong match between both competitors. So yeah, definitely probably the best segment on SmackDown was between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Again, that this feud has been going on and off for quite a few months now. I know they had their title match at WrestlePalooza. I believe they had another match at a Saturday night's main event, maybe in the beginning of November, roughly. And those matches, they were good. They were okay. They're not memorable, not something you're really going to be talking about in the best of 2025. But now we know that we're having a 3 stages of hell match, and this is kind of where this needs to go, because these two are great when you have and put a stipulation into a match. I mean, Cody's phenomenal in that sense. I mean, we've seen him with that Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre, the Hell in a Cell match with CM Punk, one of the best matches of 2024, if not the best. So, yeah, they had the segment where Cody Rhodes kind of comes out and does the aggressive Cody Rhodes thing. He's pissed off with Drew and can't wait to tear his head off, and then Drew shows up on the Titantron right outside Cody's tour bus, basically stating the 3 stipulations. First fall is just going to be a regular singles contest, usually how these 3 stages of hell things go. Second fall is going to be a false count, anywhere where you can kind of get that hardcore and kind of go through the crowd and hit each other with garbage cans and trash cans and chairs and all that fun stuff. And then the third is going to be a cage match, which we all know it's going to lead to the cage match, and then we're going to get an eventual winner. Again, not really going to see Cody lose this as much as we would love to see. As mentioned, like I said, Orton win a world title. We want to see Drew finally get that world title win that it's been eluding him for the last 5 or so years. It's going to be an entertaining match. It's going to be in Berlin, Germany, which we know where the crowd is going to be super hot, probably for Drew in this match. But yeah, it's ultimately what is going to be the payoff here. I think, if anything, there's one of 2 things that I want to see happen in this contest. I either want to see Cody lose and have Drew be the world champion, or I want to have Cody win and then eventually within the next 3-4 weeks go heel. Have a heel Cody Rhodes going into the road to WrestleMania, and that's what the fans want. Because if we're gonna get a Cody versus Roman 3, we need to have a heel Cody Rhodes. But speaking of, he mentions off the stipulations to the 3 stages of hell. Then he shows a picture of Cody and Dusty, and obviously he throws the picture down on the ground. Glass smashes everywhere. Very dramatic moment, and that obviously pissed Cody off. Runs to the back, can't find Drew. Drew's now in the ring, and a garbage can magically appears in the middle of a ring. Very, very quick thinking there by the production crew to get this. So Drew's now back in the ring. Cody's out in the parking lot. He has to run back in the ring. Drew goes ahead and sets aflame the picture of Cody and Dusty. Throws in the trash can. You got the dramatic smoke billowing out of the trash can while Cody's being held back by a bunch of security outside the ring. Drew is in the ring, kind of gets down on his hands and knees and looks Cody right in the face, telling him to hit him. Cody can't hit him or he loses the title. So great segment, really pushing towards Drew as this ultimate heel. I mean, him and Gunther are putting on phenomenal work recently with their heel characters. Obviously, Cody having the passion that Cody does really has the fans behind him. So yeah, overall, another great segment, really putting this match to the forefront here as we kind of have this little bit of a break between the Rumble and Saturday night's main event. At the end of the month, we have to have these 2 big shows coming up with the Raw on Monday, 1-year anniversary, and then a big international show on SmackDown next Friday. But again, great segment. Can't wait for the 3 stages of hell. I think it's really going to elevate this match to maybe be a match of the year contender if everything is done correctly. Obviously, we need to just have a good finish in this to set up for the next step. So, again, great wrestling match. Cannot wait to see what is going to happen. And, yeah, we'll see you for the next one. So the way SmackDown kicked off their first 3 hour event of 2026, actually the Miz came down and he did his typical, Buffalo sucks, all that fun stuff. I'm the best. I'm the locker room leader, and all that. And then, to everyone's kind of surprise, Randy Orton's music hits and huge pop for Orton. Obviously, full dad mode, man. Orton is in full dad mode right now, and I absolutely love it. Comes down and doesn't say anything. Miz kind of reiterates that, that these two are the locker room leaders, which they kind of are. They're both in their early mid 40s at this point. Yeah, a lot of trials and tribulations being in the business for 20 years for both of them. But yeah, just kind of says that we're the locker room lead. We can be like Miz KO or something of that ridiculous name. I was like, thank God they didn't run with that. But yeah, again, Miz really reiterating how they're both the locker room leaders. Everything goes what they say. Randy Orton obviously smashes him with a RKO. He actually did a fake out. Miz, when he first got in the ring, he was gonna fake like he was gonna give him an RKO, and Miz was like, "Oh, thank God you almost got me." But obviously, we knew what was coming. It's kind of like that Stone Cold thing. He's kind of got that reputation now that somebody's gonna get RKO'd at some point. But yeah, took some out in RKO, and crowd starts chanting one more time, one more time, one more time. And obviously the gentleman that Mr. Orton is, he picks the Miz up, and actually even looked as he kind of gave Miz a handshake while Miz was flat on his back. Actually, it looked like Miz was breaking character there a little bit, but yeah, he gets him back up and hits him with another RKO and absolutely wipes him out again. And while telling him have a happy New Year, Miz. Yeah, great to see Orton back. They actually did a backstage segment not long after this where Orton basically declared to Cody Rhodes that he's going to go for the Undisputed Championship, or at least he kind of hinted at it. Anyways, I don't really know. That may happen at the Rumble. I cannot see Cody dropping the belt before WrestleMania, but crazier things have happened, but it's kind of almost easy to predict the booking at this point. I do hope that I am wrong and Orton can get that world title that he definitely deserves. He needs at least one more run with the main belt. But interesting segment to say the least. Good to see Randy Orton back, and interesting to see what his road to WrestleMania looks like now. I think at least a world title match is going to be in his future, and yeah, maybe a good rivalry with, I don't know, maybe Aleister Black of sorts. That could happen. Even a Damian Priest, speaking of their ambulance match earlier, that could be a good maybe setup of a match for Orton going forward. But again, great to see Orton back, and look forward to see what he does in the coming weeks and months. So we had a pair of U.S. title matches on SmackDown on Friday, and the first one I kind of want to cover is Chelsea Green and Julia. It was supposed to be Chelsea Green, I believe, and Michin supposed to be fighting for the title, obviously, and unfortunately, or was that supposed to be a women's title match? I'm actually not too sure. But anyways, Chelsea Green and Julia fought for the U.S. title. And this was a decent match. Two really talented wrestlers. Julia with such a deep background in New Japan and just in Japan in general. So she has a very aggressive, strong style way of competing. And Chelsea Green, very underrated professional wrestler. I know a lot of people talk back to her in Lucha Underground with that Penta match. So it really shows how physical she can be when she wants. So a great back and forth wrestling match here with actually Julia coming out on top with being now a two-time U.S. Women's Champion. When this initially happened, I was like, dang, because I am a big Chelsea Green fan. She is absolutely freaking hilarious. Kind of reminds me of of Christian almost. Even she has the Unpretty Her finisher, so kind of a throwback to Christian there. But just I love the how she throws the tantrums and all of that there when she doesn't get her way, which is great because you have to have kind of that heel persona, but then she's kind of a face too because of how good she is at her job. Kind of the way the wrestling world is nowadays. But again, Julia comes out on top. She definitely deserves it. I just that Kiana James. I don't really like her having a sidekick. I think Julia is charismatic enough where she can just go out on her own. I know they may say her English is not up to snuff, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. I think she just has that aura about her. Julia does, where you don't need someone beside her, and especially someone that has the look of Kiana James. You know what I mean? She just doesn't fit the bill. But that's just my opinion. Chelsea Green. I mean, I think this is doesn't matter if she wins or loses. Like she still has the mixed tag title for AAA, but even with that said, I mean, she can go right into the world title picture eventually, which I think that's probably where she's going to end up. She may even be a favorite to win the Royal Rumble coming up at the end of January. Do not be surprised if you see someone like Chelsea Green coming out on top as the Royal Rumble winner, or even a Money in the Bank holder. I mean, it's either one or two, I think, for Chelsea Green coming up here. The other U.S. title match, we had Carmelo Hayes against Johnny Gargano was the challenger again. I mean, obviously you can't have a bad match with these two. Two unique styles. Great match with Carmelo Hayes obviously coming up on top. New champion. So obviously you're just going to get some great matches with him in the coming weeks. I know Ilya Dragunov wants that rematch. And thinking of that rematch, I'm like, what can they kind of do with that? Well, that would honestly be a phenomenal match for the Royal Rumble. You know, how you kind of want to have the other, usually two matches. I think Ilya and Carmelo could actually set Saudi Arabia on fire if you give them 15 minutes. Phenomenal fight there. I don't know if you're going to actually see that, but one can hope. If not, you'll probably see the week before at Saturday night's main event. Kind of having them filler matches that can't make the Rumble. I think that's kind of why they like putting that Saturday night's main event there. So you can have 4 other matches plus 2 other matches besides the Rumble. So I think that's why they kind of place it there. But 2 great matches with one retaining and we have one new champion. So one of the big things on SmackDown on Friday with the first 3-hour show is a lot of surprises happening on SmackDown here. I figured they would have some sort of big show to kind of ring in the new year, have their first 3-hour show of 2026. And I believe all the shows going forward are going to be 3 hours. But yeah, I mean, we had Trick Williams come out. They're making his official debut on SmackDown, kind of rolling that back. It was Sami Zayn that came out, kind of just stating that he's been away for a few weeks, and he was actually in the crowd with John Cena's last match, kind of saying, or telling his son, that John Cena is a 17-time world champion. And then his son asked him, how many have you had? How many world titles have you won? And he had to tell him, well, none, unfortunately, not on the main roster anyway. He is a former NXT world champion, but kind of reiterated that. Then he kind of said, well, listen, 2026 is going to be my year. I'm going to be the world heavyweight champion here at some point in 2026. Trick Williams music hits, and he has to come out looking like $1 million. I mean, compared to Sami Zayn, who just looked like he went dumpster diving. But Trick Williams there coming up with a fur coat and the shiny white boots and all that, and just basically saying how he's the next big thing. I'm going to be the next world champion. Phenomenal, actually, promo by Trick. He is going to be a future world champion in the next, I'd say, 18 months. Just going to be a phenomenal talent. The crowd was fully behind him. They know who he is, which is great. It's not going to be obviously hard for him to really elevate up. He's going to be a great heel character. which is then going to lead to being a great face character with, because he kind of has that mix of, he has the charisma, he is funny as well, the way he can kind of twist words and stuff like that, so he has that going for him. So again, great promo. He's actually facing Rey Fenix next week, so we're going to kind of see what he can do with Rey Fenix, who is a phenomenal high flyer. So I think if they get a good 5-10 minutes, that's going to be a great match. And that's a good thing about these 3-hour shows now. It's really going to give Len time to have 5 good matches each week on the show, which is how I hope they book these shows going forward, because I know sometimes when you got these 3-hour shows that can drag, at least you have your storylines going, you can let matches breathe. That will be fine. Jordynne Grace also appeared in a backstage segment, saying that she's going to be going after Jade Cargill. So 2 big powerhouses there. It's great to see Jordynne Grace on SmackDown. Phenomenal talent again. Can't wait to see what she's going to do in the coming weeks. I don't really have much to say. I didn't really see that. I kind of seen a post about her being backstage. I was kind of in between SmackDown and then the World Juniors. They were on at the same time. Once Canada got a lengthy lead, I kind of focused it more on the SmackDown side of things. And Matt Cardona, this was a huge surprise seeing him come out. Kit Wilson, one of pretty deadly. One half of that team. I cannot for the life of me remember what the other guy's name is. The blonde guy is out and definitely with an injury. But Kit Wilson got a new video package, absolutely hilarious video package coming up on the screen here with the kind of a colorful cartoonish him dancing, and it was ridiculous, but it was funny. So he kind of came out and said that everyone is toxic, Buffalo sucks, you stink, all that fun stuff. And then Zack Ryder's name came up on the Titantron, kind of did the woo, and then Matt Cardona's name came up on the screen. So he is now known as Matt Cardona, the indie god, which is great for Mr. Cardona, because he is going to have an absolutely phenomenal run here. I really hope they do him right. He can definitely, world title, it's a little hard to say right now, but definitely a U.S. title, Intercontinental title coming for him in the future. He looks phenomenal, looks great, hasn't missed a beat in the ring. And actually Kit Wilson looked really good as well. And this is kind of what I was just talking about, how you're giving these wrestlers a little bit of extra time in the ring now, so you can have a good 5-minute match to kind of show off what Kit Wilson can do. So he's pretty smooth in the ring as well. Great little quick match. Obviously Cardona picking up the win, and I think now hopefully in the next 2 weeks we can get kind of a promo from him to kind of see what his vision is and what he wants to do going forward. But look for him to have a good outing in the Royal Rumble.